pores.
Right? Oh my goodness. So funny. Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And here we are once again with Mastermind Mondays, how to attract and magnetize your ideal clients. And we're here with Angela, beautiful Angela. Would you like to say something? You can talk about
I
your epic. Uh-oh, we're frozen now. um, let's see if she comes back. Oh, there you are. There you are.
my Wi-Fi connection.
Yep, we're having technical problems with Wi Fi and internet and all that good stuff. It's not unusual. Are you there? So if you are here watching this live, please make sure that you give StreamYard permission to post your name and comments. We'll see if Angela is able to come back. So please click the link above this video to give StreamYard permission to post your name and your comments so we can see what you're saying. Okay? Hello, welcome back. Okay. Okay. So today we're going to start with, again, we're going to go with our, oh boy, where did it go? Let me check. I'm looking for. Uh, okay, here we go. Are you there? Hello? Okay, so this is where we clarify and zoom in on where you can clarify and zoom in on your ideal client. Tell us where you're coming from, and tell us what are you grateful for. What is it that you're grateful for today? So let's start with, and I think Angela is gone. Her Wi-Fi is not working today. So let's begin with the spirit of gratitude. I easily attract and magnetize. Yes, we want to attract. We want to magnetize our ideal clients. They are happy and eager to join this supportive, loving community. They want to invest in their growth and they want to take action, because without taking action, without investing in ourselves, then there is no progress, there is no growth, right? So we've got to invest in ourselves, we've got to invest in our growth, and we've got to take action. So inspired thoughts lead to inspired feelings, and those feelings lead to inspired action. You cannot feel motivated, you can't feel motivated unless you have that feeling that you want to move, that you want to take action, right? So when you start with the spirit of gratitude, you begin to understand that you are enough, you do enough, and you have enough. When you look around, you look at your present moment, are you enough? Do you have enough? You look around and look at your present circumstances and what you've done so far, because anything that you've done in the past is manifested in your future, and in your, I'm sorry, not in your future, but it's manifested in your present reality. And anything that you do now, this very moment, is going to be manifested in your future. What you're doing in this very moment is going to manifest your reality in your future. So I honor my goals with great responsibility. Do you take action? Do you say what you're going to do and do what you have said you're going to do? So do you walk the walk? Do you talk the talk and walk the walk? It's really, really important. And success, financial wealth, and happiness come easily to me. I love how excited and happy my clients feel to join this program, to work independently and together as a team. So when you're thinking about this, who is your ideal client? And what are you grateful for? Are you grateful for the community that you're in? Are you grateful for the information that you're learning? Have you had an experience today that wasn't a positive experience, but you're still grateful for it because, oh, here we go, she's coming. Hello, welcome back.
I'm here for a minute. I
Okay.
I can hear you. I just I don't know.
Welcome back.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Sorry. So now I
Oh,
lost my train of thought. I was talking
sorry.
about the experiences that we have. Are we
Yeah,
grateful for every experience that we have? Are we grateful for the positive and the negative? Because when we are grateful, when we see the benefit of some negative experience, we we move away from negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative vibes, and then we go into this space that makes room for good things to happen to us. What do you think?
absolutely. I think that's so true. That's been really key for me, and I've learned to use those negative feelings as a guide for what I would love it to be. What is the outcome I want? And that's what guides me back. Yeah,
Okay, exactly. So yeah, and so when we're experiencing any kind of negative feelings, any kind of negative thoughts, then we're able to, if we can think of that not as a punishment or something that happened to me. Oh no, that happened to me, poor me. And we start with the pity party, and then we start with feeling sorry for ourselves, and we dwell on that. Then of course, because we focus on that, then we attract more of that. But if we see that experience as a gift, okay, so what is it that I'm supposed to learn from that? What is it that I'm supposed to understand? Where is it that I'm supposed to pivot my life? Where is it that I'm supposed to change? Or where is it that I'm supposed to uh, make more of an effort, or more, or focus more, or be more intentional? Then that becomes a learning opportunity. And so it's no longer a negative event. It's a gift. It's a positive experience.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a big guide. It's really helped me in so many situations, especially as of late, really turning that around and seeing it for that, for as being a guide and not a negative, why is this happening to me? No, it's great. That's a good thing that's happening to you. Utilize it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go into the slideshow. We're gonna go again. We're gonna start. We're going to do a little review, just really quick recap. So how do you talk with your ideal clients? So Angela, do you want to talk about that? You want to give your own opinion about that? How to talk with your ideal clients?
For me, I just really find that it's a lot about listening, really connecting with them, listening to them. This is about your clients, right? What are they saying to you? What is their body language? What is it that they want? What are they hoping to accomplish? And um, just really connecting with that, I think. And um, for me, that's been a big thing is remembering I was there, right? I was going through what they're going through right now, right? So it's easier for me to understand, that part of the journey.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just that connection, you know. Um,
Exactly. If we look at the hero's journey, I'm not sure if you might be familiar with the hero's journey, but the in the hero's journey, we go through several stages in our lives. We go from a space of comfort, of everything is fine, there's no problems, we are living life, and we're not aware of a problem, and suddenly this problem comes up, and then the problem stirs up our curiosity, and then we have a question. question and we want to solve that question. We have a problem, and then questions come up, and we want to solve that problem. And so we go on this journey to solve the problem. And along that journey, we meet a mentor, a guide. And so that's where we're at. As digital entrepreneurs and as marketers, we are guides. We become the guides that for our ideal clients. And once we become the guide, then we begin to, like you said, Angela, we begin to listen with the intent to understand. We begin to empathize because we, like you said, our ideal clients are going through what we went through at a certain point during our journey. And so we become the guide and they become the hero. And they are the heroes. Yes, our ideal clients are the heroes of the story. We are not the heroes. The ideal client is the hero. And so, yes, so listening with the intent to understand, and listening with compassion, listening to offer a solution, because remember, your ideal client is the hero, is the person who is going on this journey and has questions, has a problem, but doesn't really know how to navigate the situation. And so that's where we come in.
Yes, absolutely. And that just kind of goes back to listening, to listening what's going on for them, where they're at, where their struggles are. Because yeah, we've been through that, right? And so we've made it to the other side, or are going through it, and yeah, I think that's a big thing when your clients can relate to you,
Yes.
and they know that you can help them in some way with whatever it is that they're going through.
Yes,
That solution
precisely.
that they seek. Yeah.
Exactly. And so today the theme of the focus for today is how our journey um, is the catalyst for our clients, for attracting and magnetizing our clients. How it is that our story is makes our brand, and how it is that we can attract and magnetize our clients because of our story. Our story is what people are looking for. They're not looking for a product, they're looking for the story, because the story is a story of transformation, is a story of overcoming, is a story of trial and error, is a story of 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 moving forward and getting to the finish line. And so that's what's important, and that's what is going to attract our ideal clients. So focus on offering value content that answers your ideal client's main concerns, and that's what it is. Okay, so how to move
Mhm.
forward consistently. And wow, that topic comes up all the time. Consistency, consistency, consistency. If we are not consistent, then success is very
It's not
hard.
consistent. Then success is
Exactly.
not consistent, right? Yeah, that's very true. Consistency is really key.
Exactly, exactly. I love that, Angela. If we are not consistent, our success is not going to be consistent. And
Absolutely.
and and without consistent success, then we're gonna feel frustrated. We're gonna feel
Absolutely.
um, in limbo. We're going to
Hmm.
feel like we're not going to feel stable,
Yeah,
self reliant.
for sure. Yeah, that's uncertainty. That uncertainty of and that's not a good feeling. That's not the place you want to be in, right?
Exactly, exactly. It's not a good feeling. It's a feeling of, it gives, you know, the 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 cost of not being consistent is more costly than
It
being
is,
consistent.
absolutely. Yeah, because then you're lack. You're coming from a place of lack, and as many of us know, that's not a good place to be. That's not where we want to be. That's not our goal, right? Our goals are generally to be, in abundant and in flow. And from that, comes consistency. Mhm.
Precisely, precisely. The fact that we are not able to be consistent with our actions, taking action, being prepared, um, knowing what we want, and as we become more and more consistent, we become more creative, we become more enthusiastic, we become more motivated.
Yeah.
It's because of consistency that we're able to move forward. It's that momentum that we acquire, that we're able to achieve.
And passion. I think that's a big one for me is and the passion. You've got to be passionate about what you're doing because that passion will
Yes.
drive you, right?
Yes,
That'll keep you
I agree.
consistent.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. That will keep us consistent. Yes, yes, precisely. So, and being able to stay consistent gives us clues as to what is it that our clients really want and need, and what are the costs for the client, and how will the client perceive the benefits of what we have to offer. How will they um, how will they perceive what it is that the solutions that we have to offer them? And being consistent keeps that into focus, maintains the focus there. And how does the
Hmm.
product helps them achieve their goals? If we are not consistent, then how do they know that the product is helping us achieve our goals? They don't
Right?
know that.
Because we have to be walking the walk, I think. And like you
Yes,
said, walking the walk and talking the talk, right? And your clients see that and they look for that.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so um, another question would be how owning this service or product changes one's social status in the eyes of peers and colleagues. So again, it is about status. It is about how, if I'm able to overcome this struggle or overcome this 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 hurdle, this obstacle, how am I going to be perceived in society, in my social circles? Is it going to elevate my status or is it going to decrease my status? If I'm not able to be successful with this product, then what's going to happen? Am I going to be embarrassed? Are people going to say, "Are you an idiot? Why did you buy into that? That doesn't
Right?
that's not getting you results." Um, and so and it's getting you deeper and deeper into debt, or it's getting you deeper deeper and deeper into depression, or it's getting you deeper and deeper into whatever negative uh, um, uh,
Those negative feelings that you
yeah,
don't want,
yes,
right?
that,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So really, really important, how we're preparing the product. And again, you know um, our audiences or our clients are not looking for a product. They're not necessarily looking for a product. They are looking for the story behind the product. They're
Hmm.
looking for that story that is about transformation, the story that is about change, the story that is about, and sometimes I question that. I question the story about change because um, in a sense, change means that we've been making mistakes, and a lot of people um, don't want to admit that they've made a mistake. People want
Hmm.
something new. People want a new idea, a new approach, that's not going to take them from a bad feeling, a bad emotion to another bad feeling and another bad emotion. People want
Hmm.
something that's going to take them from pain to joy.
Right. That solution. They're looking for a solution,
Yes,
in whatever it is. And that solution ultimately is a feeling. It's an experience and it's the feeling that experience gives you, right?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, um, and that's what we're focusing on. So we
Hmm.
talked about last week. We also talked about documenting your journey, journaling, and we talked about how important it is for us to document our story when we do posts, when we do stories, when we do reels. Just documenting that, the journey that we're going through, and letting people know that this is where we're at. um, and we may not be way ahead. We may not be super successful, but this is where we're at. and this is how much I can help you, and I can get you
Absolutely.
here. And I may not be able to get you there, but I can get you here. If you're not there yet, then I can help you to get to this particular point.
Hmm. I think journaling is also it's like you said, it's really beneficial. It has been for me in looking back. Because sometimes we don't realize just how much we've grown, how far we've come. But when you journal and you look back, even a week ago, if you're being at least even somewhat consistent in what you're doing, in um, you're growing, and
Yeah,
documenting that and journaling that, you'll be able to look back and see that. And that's going to feel good. You're going to see, wow, I do feel a bit better today than I did last week. I've learned something, I've grown. And it gives you that motivation to stay consistent.
exactly. And it's a
Hmm.
measurement. It's a measurement.
It
You are
is.
able to measure your progress. You're able to gauge where you were last week with where you
Yeah.
are today. And we often talk about competition and comparison. And in this space, I mean, in any space, competition and comparison only leads to um,
Disappointment, in my opinion.
disappointment. Yes, yes, yes,
The
yes.
only person you should be competing with, I think, is yourself, right?
Exactly.
Strive to be better today than you were yesterday.
Yes. Precisely, precisely.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want to feel disappointed. You want to know,
No,
you want to focus on what you're doing. You want to focus on the progress that you're making. Because if you start looking to the left and you start looking to the right, then those feelings of comparison, those feelings of I'm not enough, I haven't done enough, I don't have enough, and so it puts you back into that space of scarcity
yeah,
rather than abundance. So disappointment, comparison, um, competition is not really, it's not a place where you want to be. You
it is
want to
not. It's
be,
not beneficial
yes,
in your growth, in your success. I know that because I
exactly,
used to do that so often. I would compare myself to so many other coaches and mentors out there. And
yeah,
I've learned, you know what? I don't want to be like all the other coaches and mentors out there. That's what makes me different. That's what makes you different in your authenticity to your
authenticity,
clients,
yeah, yeah,
right? So,
exactly, exactly,
yeah, don't compare
exactly.
yourself because you don't want to be that. You want to be you
Yes,
unapologetically. I think that's
yeah.
a big thing. Hmm.
Precisely. Thank you, Angela. And yes, and I know we have an audience, so please click the link above this
Lovely.
video so that we can see your comments. And please comment, give us some love, and also let us know where you're coming from, who you are, because we want to know. Okay, so yeah, a
So we can
great
say hi.
yeah, so we can say hello and how are you doing. So thank you. I know sometimes when I give StreamYard permission to post my name and my comments, it doesn't do it. I don't know why, but if you are making a comment, just type your name at the end so that we can call you by your name, okay, and not just Facebook user. Okay, thank you very much.
Technology.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why it doesn't work, but anyway, yeah. So putting fear aside is also something that is really important. When we stop
Yes.
comparing ourselves, when we stop this comparison, this competitive, um, programming, because it's actually a programming. We've been programmed from the time that we were born to compare ourselves. Oh, if you were like your sister, or your brother did this, or always that comparison, and oh, that person is better than you, or you're better than somebody. So that comparison just it fills us also with a sense of fear that we don't want to take action because we're afraid that we're going to be compared, that we're going to be that we're going to be put in this position where we feel disappointed, like
Yeah.
you said,
Less
right?
than. Feeling of less
Yes,
than, I found.
less
Yeah.
than,
Yeah.
exactly. We are demeaned, and we don't. Nobody wants to feel like they're less than somebody else.
Right.
And in fact, we are not. We are not less than anybody else. If we look at our journey, if we look at ourselves, we are all unique individuals, And
Absolutely.
our journey is different than somebody else's journey. And our timeline is also different. I remember when there were many times when I would have parent teacher conferences when I was teaching, and the parents would come in and say, "But my child doesn't do this, and his friend or her friend is doing that, and I'm just so worried." And this worry and this, and I would tell them, "Well, your child is unique. Your child is special. Look at your child from their point of view, from their perspective. Look at your child's potential. Look at your child's what they're doing. What is it that they're
Right.
doing, rather than comparing them to somebody else?"
Yes. I
And
think we're so sorry to cut you off on that, but just on that exact
yeah,
topic, I think we're very quick to point out when we are our own worst critic, and we do that. We are very quick to point out when we see something that's not perfect.
yeah,
We're very quick to pick out the negative, but if you stop and look at the different traits that your son may have that the other students don't have, we miss that.
yes,
And I,
yes,
I think that's
yes,
important to
yes,
see it that way.
yes. And also, you just brought another point that, and I've talked about it before, but we as humans, we are constantly focusing on the negative. And that's because focusing on the negative helps us. It's a protection, it's a defense mechanism, just like fear is a defense mechanism. And it's not something bad. It's just that it was programmed into our genetic structure in order to help us to survive fear,
Right.
and focusing on the negative. Because when we focus on the negative, then we put ourselves, we position ourselves in that flight or fight
Yeah.
um,
No. Yeah. Yeah.
mode.
Flight or
Yes,
fight mode. Yeah.
exactly. And so it's actually a gift to us. However, because times have changed, we are no longer cavemen. We have moved from this, through the
We've
ages.
grown.
We've
We've
grown.
grown.
Exactly. We've grown. We've got to let go. We've got to let go of those negative programmings, of those programmings that don't really serve us anymore. We don't really need that anymore, but we do need to acknowledge it. We need to acknowledge, okay, I have this fear, and that's good. I have this fear
Mhm.
because this fear is going to help me at some point, um, in certain
For sure.
occasions. But this is what I want to do. This is where I need to focus.
hmm And I think that, talking about the fear and that sort of thing too, I think that is one of the things with this program is the inner work. Our inner work is so important,
Yes, yes,
right? For
yes,
that fear and all those things, right? Push through it, push through that fear and do it anyways.
yes, exactly, exactly.
hmm
And knowing our fears, acknowledging that we have a fear, acknowledging that we have certain deficiencies, because we all do. We all
Of
have
course.
deficiencies. We are not perfect. We are striving for perfection because that's our nature. Our
Right,
nature is the human nature was designed to grow, to develop, to strive. And yes, strive for perfection because we have the potential to be gods, to be goddesses.
right,
Yes, we do. We do. But we have to focus on what it is that's going to help us to move forward, not that which is keeping us from moving forward. We've got to focus on, and Brianna talks about this a lot. She always says this, we have to focus on the end results desired. What is it
hmm
that you want? And I have, I mean, I have so many stories about my own journey and where I
hmm
was at some point. 2 years ago, I was at a point where I needed to let go of many things, let go of the past. And I
Yes.
couldn't move. I couldn't move out of there. And I felt like a caged animal. I felt like I was in a cage,
Stuck.
not able, yes, stuck, not able to move forward. But once I began to say, okay, you know what? I am in this place, in this spot right now. And why is it that I'm here? And what benefit am I getting from this? What am I learning from this? And once I was able to understand that I needed to be there. I needed to be there in order to be able to go to the next level. It was like a transition. It was a transition
Yes.
space, a transition mode that I needed to experience in order to move to the next level. And and I couldn't move until I accepted that, until I acknowledged that, until I acknowledged the frustration, until I acknowledged the anxiety, until I acknowledged the depression. And I thanked, and I thanked, and I was thankful for it. That grammar
Right.
sound is so weird. Okay, yeah, and I was thankful for it. And Angela, you talked about gratitude, which is something just so primordial. When we are grateful, we are able to move forward. Okay, I
Absolutely.
scraped my knee. Oh, yes, it's so painful. Thank you for this pain.
Right. Right. Okay. Right. You're
I,
like, oh,
you
that
know,
hurt. That's okay. You know what? I'm grateful because, and sometimes you can't see it in the moments,
yeah,
but know that you will, because that's been my case many times. It's hard to be grateful when you scraped your knee and it really hurts. But if you just know that there's a reason this has just happened, okay, I accept it and I'm going to move on. When you get to that next stage, then sometimes you can see it. Be like,
yeah,
oh, did, I get it now. I scraped my knee so that I could get to this point, right?
exactly,
So,
exactly.
yeah, it's all part of the process. And I've had to go through it as well many times, particularly lately, to see that and to just to
Yeah,
be grateful for every single thing that comes up, even when it doesn't feel good. And in the moment, sometimes it's hard to feel grateful for something and it's not doesn't feel good. But just
exactly,
know that you will. You will.
exactly.
There will be a reason.
And
Absolutely.
I wasn't fully aware of this, but many years ago, maybe it was 8 years ago, I was still living in Japan, and I was wearing high heels, and I had gotten lost, and I was walking through this subway station, and it was huge. It was a huge subway station, and I was like, oh my goodness, my feet are killing me. I want to take off the shoes, and something clicked, and I was like, I'm
Take off your
feeling
shoes?
no, no, no,
I was
no.
like,
You
take off my
no,
shoes.
you just couldn't take off your shoes because
Oh.
it's just like, well, I didn't want to take off my shoes in the middle of a station. It would have been super weird. I felt like it, but then I was thinking, um, I started thinking, I'm getting used to this pain. I'm getting used to the pain, and I kept thinking, I'm getting used to the pain, and then I
Right.
started saying, I'm getting used to the pain, and I'm grateful for the pain.
Right? Get
And you know
comfortable
what?
being uncomfortable.
Yep,
Find
exactly. And
comfort in uncomfort.
you know what? I actually forgot about the pain, and kind of like my mind just took over. Like it started
Right.
running that thought through my mind, and it started manifesting it. I mean, really. And by the time I found where I was supposed to be, my feet were not hurting. And this was like,
Right.
oh my goodness, this is incredible. So yes, I not only did I say to myself, I didn't say, oh my goodness, my feet are hurting, my feet are hurting. I stopped saying that, and I started saying, I'm
Right.
getting used to this pain. I'm getting used to this pain. And then after I said
I
I was
love
getting
it.
used to the pain, I said, I'm grateful for this pain. Thank you for this pain. And it went away. It actually went away. And so that's how powerful your mind is.
I
That
was
that
just
is
gonna say, yeah,
it's
the
just
power of the mind.
yes, it's mind over matter. I mean, truly,
Absolutely.
truly mind over matter. So when we are connecting with our ideal clients, so we have to come back to the focus. So
Right.
the, the more
Right.
you know your ideal client's core motivation, connect with it and help resolve it, the more you will connect with your ideal clients. So knowing your journey, documenting your journey, knowing what you've gone through will help you to understand your clients' core motivations. What is it that
Yeah.
they truly want? What is it that they truly desire? You don't want to go in and just push a product onto anybody because it's going to be it's going to be a negative experience. It's not going to help your client. So
Their journey is different than your journey. And I think you need to understand that. And that's where the communication and the listening and stuff comes from, right? To understand your
yes,
clients, their solution and their journey is
yes,
different than yours, right?
yes, yes. And and that is why our posts, our value content, when we post something, we really, I've seen people just copy posts
Mm-hmm.
and paste them onto their profile. And but but if you don't really know what you're pasting, or you don't really know exactly what your client needs, you're just throwing things. You're just throwing things in there,
Yeah,
and your client is not going to be able to resonate with it. Your client is not going to be able to connect with you. They might be able to connect with the post, but that post is not yours, so therefore it's not going to connect with you. It's going to connect with somebody else's,
that's right.
with the person who wrote that post. So you really have to make it your own. It's got to be your post. It's got to be your story. It's got to be your thought. It's got to be your feeling. It's got to be your everything in there.
And I
It's gonna
think
come
that
from you.
it does. And I think part of that comes from the doing things in a certain way. It's you've got to be connected, your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, your outcome um of that connection with your ideal client has to come through you into that post. And
Yeah,
that's not going to happen if you're just copying somebody else's stuff. You're not doing things from the right place. And it's
exactly,
not going to benefit you nor your client.
exactly. And something else that just came to mind is that, you know, you may have a lot of fans. You may have a lot of people who are liking your content. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're resonating with your content.
Right.
It may just be the vanity metrics. So 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 if you are not attracting the ideal clients that want to buy from you, that resonate with your message, then maybe you need to look at the content you're posting. Is your content just satisfying the vanity metrics, or is your
Right.
content also fitting the
The
needs of
story.
your client? Because it says here, do you fit your ideal client into your product, or do you create the product for your ideal client? And that's something also that we have to think, that
Mm-hmm.
we have to keep in mind. Are we creating a product that fits our ideal client's needs and expectations and desires? Or are we trying to fit? Are we trying to push our client into this product, which is not going to work
It
eventually?
isn't. Absolutely. Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's very important.
yeah, yeah. And your comment, your posts, your content, the value that you're adding into that content has to be, like Angela said, authentic. It has to be authentic. It has to be original. It has to come from your journey,
Yeah.
and you knowing that you are answering your clients' pain points, and that's
Yeah.
it. And that's how it connects. Your
Yeah. You're
journey,
sharing. You're sharing your value with them.
yeah,
Your story. And when you're connected to your client, your story of your journey is going to resonate with them, and they're going to feel that. So
yeah.
I think it all is important. Right?
Brilliant. Yes, exactly. So, do you understand the difference between what they say they want and what they truly need to have success? Because there is a difference. There is a difference.
Yeah.
A lot of times we may just be focusing on the money, but
Mm.
if we're focusing on just the money, it's going to be very difficult to be successful, because when we approach our client with the nothing in return approach, with the nothing in return um, principle, then we're able to be more authentic. We're able to really serve, come from a space of serving, not selling. So we
Right.
don't want to sell to our clients. We want to serve our clients. And that's really, really important to understand. Serving our clients is the key to attracting and magnetizing our clients.
Yeah, that will come through. That will come through. And your success will depend on that as well. At the end of the day, I think, if
Yes,
you're coming from selling, you're coming from a place of lack, of scarcity, and that's going to come through
exactly.
in your energy, in your posts, in your interactions with your clients, and
Yeah,
they will pick up on that.
exactly.
Hmm.
When you're desperate, when you feel
Yeah.
desperate to sell, when you feel desperate to sell, you this reminds me of when I went to we were in Rome with my daughter, and we were at a restaurant. We were just having we were having some snacks in the restaurant, and this guy comes in, and he's a salesman, and he goes in and he takes a wallet and he shows it to us, and then we're like, no thank you. And then he puts that wallet away, and he takes a keychain and he dangles it in front of us, and he's like, this one, yeah, you want this one, right? And I was like, no thank you. And then he takes other things, and he keeps taking things and getting a different product and shoving it into our faces, just in front of our faces, and we're like, no thank you. and, and so we don't want to be that kind of person that
No.
is just looking to sell anything and everything. We when when marketing is not about that. Marketing is about it, and it says it right here. Are
Connection.
you building an emotional connection? Are you not a
So key.
transactional connection? If you're building a transactional connection, then it's going to be a failure, because
Yeah.
we can go anywhere. We can go to a store and we can just go pick up the product that we want, and we can pay for it, and we can walk out of
Yeah.
there, and that's it. That's the end of it. But if we are looking at transformation, if we're looking at um, uh,
Connection.
creating, building relationships, and really creating a community of people that are going to benefit from our product, we're not doing a transaction. So, are you building an emotional connection? The key to an ideal client profile is an emotional connection. And the best way to make that connection is by sharing your journey. Okay. And that takes time.
Absolutely. It does. It does. It absolutely takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yes.
And you don't build that overnight, right? And people
Yes.
need time to see that story, to watch it unfold. A lot of times your
Yes.
clients are just watching. They're just watching your story unfold
Yeah.
until they're like, okay, I'm ready,
Exactly.
right? So,
Exactly.
mhm,
Exactly. And you and as marketers, we also have to know that it's going to take time. It's not going to
absolutely.
be an overnight success. And you may, again, if you are looking to the right, if you're looking to the left, you may see people being very successful, but you got to keep in mind that you don't know how many years that person has been working on their story.
Exactly. Exactly.
you,
Right.
you have no idea. And they may say, I started a month ago. They may say, I start, but what did they start a month ago? Did they start a new program a month ago? Did they start a new journey a month ago? So, we don't really know what their specific details of their story is. So, it doesn't really, it's not relevant to our journey.
It
It's not
isn't.
relevant to our success.
It isn't. And I think if we learn to there again shift a little bit of our perception in the way that we see things, and when we see someone who's really successful, and instead of being like, oh, I'm not that yet, well, you can be. So see that as an inspiration. Be inspired by them, right? Don't
Yeah,
copy them, but just be like, wow, you know what? I can do that. We are
exactly.
they're no different than we are. And if we learn to see it that way, we can be inspired by people that are doing better than us. That's great.
Exactly.
They're paving the
Exactly.
way.
Yes, yes,
Right?
yes, yes, exactly. And they can be our inspiration. They can
Absolutely.
be our motivation, our hope. And rather than
Hmm.
saying, oh my goodness, I wish I were like them, or no,
Right?
because we are not them. We are not there yet.
Exactly.
Their journey, it may be parallel. and they may be at a different stage, and so we don't need to compare. So
Mm-mm.
recognize the power of your blah, 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 blah. Recognize the power of your story. The first step to your success is knowing your superpower and using it to serve your ideal clients. So your superpower is your story. Your story is so valuable. It's unique. That's just it. Your story is unique and it can't be compared to anybody else's story. Your creativity, your core values, your skills, and your experience, that is what sets you apart from the rest of the world. And that is your superpower.
Right? That's right. That's your story. That's what gives you your story, who you are, the experiences you've gone through, the knowledge, the value. That's what gives you your story that people want to hear.
Exactly. And so, knowing your ideal client, we're going to go back to knowing your ideal client. A lot of people will say, "Well, I'm selling to well, this was my ideal client when I started, and this was like so confusing for me because I couldn't really pinpoint. I couldn't
Yeah.
pinpoint their pain points, because they could be any amount of pain points. They could be any amount of questions for my ideal client. My ideal client was women over 40.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we
I
talked
got it.
about this last week too. Women over 40. I mean, that's a huge client base, right? That's a
Yeah.
huge, you know, the demographics are huge. So what? Women over 40 that what? Women over 40. So this is a big umbrella. So start narrowing it down, start niching down. It's called niching down. And so, and they also say that your riches are in your niches. So you think about that. Your riches are in your niches. So how can you narrow down that? And some people may say, well, my clients are men because I can identify with men. Okay, yeah, but that's a really
Keep
broad.
narrowing it down. Keep going. Keep going. Right.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you gotta narrow it down. What
Yeah.
about men? What about women? What about women over 40? So finding your niche or your ideal client is super duper duper important. If you're trying to speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one. So fully understanding who your ideal client is really important. And you can only understand who your ideal client is by asking questions, asking yourself those questions.
That's
Who
right.
is my ideal client?
Who would
What?
you love to work with? That's a
Yes,
big one. Who would you love to work with? You're going to spend a lot of time with your clients. So who do you want to, yeah, right? You
yeah,
choose your friends that's how I thought of it. When I'm choosing friends,
oh yeah,
I don't just be friends with all women, right? There's a
yeah,
criteria there. I narrow that down a little bit. And so think of your clients as you're choosing your friends. Who do you want to spend your time with,
exactly,
right?
exactly. And also, you don't want to be friends with all women. You don't want to be friends with all men. You don't want to be friends with all. You don't want to be friends with all because they don't want to be friends with you.
Right.
They all don't
Well,
want to
there's
be
that
friends with
too.
you. They will only be friends with you if they can resonate with your story. So, going back to
Mhm.
your story will tell you who your ideal client is. That's the key to you knowing who your ideal client is. What is your story? What is your experience? Uh, are you a scientist? Are you an astronaut? Are you a business person? Are you an entrepreneur? Um, do you like hiking? Do you like scuba diving? Do you like, what is it about your story? What are the elements in your story that's going to resonate with somebody else? Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes when we travel, we will meet people and, you'll start talking with them. And then all of a sudden you'll find out that, wow, they connect with you in some level, and then because you find that you connect with each other because of some experience or because they live down the street from you and you didn't know that, then you become interested in that person and you start sharing stories with each other and you start talking, you start building a relationship. But it isn't until you realize that you have something in common with that person. If you have absolutely nothing in common with that person, there's not going to be a connection, right? You're
Absolutely.
just going to say
Absolutely.
hello and goodbye.
Yeah. That's right. That'll be the end of that. Right?
That's
So
it.
yeah. Yeah.
That's it. So your ideal client wants to be seen, your ideal client wants to be heard, and your ideal client wants to be understood. That's it. And
Yeah.
in order for you to have those three elements in place, you've got to be able to resonate. And that person has to be able to resonate with you as well. So it's something that I do when I'm doing a live like now, or I'm posting. I imagine one person. I'm talking to one person. There's just one person
Hmm.
I'm talking with, and that person resonates with me. That person, and I resonate with that person. That person is in need of something, and and I'm talking with that person in a very personal level as well, because I want that person to connect with me. And so,
Yeah. You want them
yeah,
to feel comfortable, I think, too. There's that
yeah,
element of comfort and trust. And yeah,
yeah,
I love that. I
exactly.
love that.
Yeah, exactly. So knowing your ideal client, who your ideal clients are, is the key to building long-term relationships and help you live your dreams as you help them live their dreams. So we've talked about journaling. I'm gonna skip through this, and then we're gonna go to owning your story is the bravest thing you will ever do, and that's
Mm.
Brene Brown. Yeah, we cannot be afraid of our story. We cannot be ashamed of our story. We cannot be um,
You are your story.
Yes, yes, we are the brand. Your core values, skills, and experience will determine your goals, and that's based on your story. So, what is your goal? What is it that you truly want to do? Without purpose, it doesn't matter how much effort you make. If you don't have a purpose, you're not going to be able to sustain that motivation. It won't be sustainable. So you've got to have a purpose. It's like
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland. She goes up to the Cheshire Cat and she says, "Which way do I go?" And the Cheshire Cat says, "Well, where do you want to go?" And she says, "I don't know." And he says, "Well, it doesn't really. Then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which way you go." So
Yeah.
we really have to know where we're going. If we don't know where we're going, it's
How
going
do
to
you know
be
when you get there?
how do you know?
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You
How do
know,
you
it's
know
true.
when you get there, and how
Yeah.
do you know that that when you got there, that's what
What you
you
wanted.
wanted. That's
Yeah.
what you were looking for. That's what you were yearning for. That's what your heart desired.
Right.
So yeah. And how do you find that? Because a lot of people will say, "Well, I don't know how to figure out what I want." Well, you start with questions. You start
Yeah.
asking yourself questions. What do I
It
want?
took me a long, long time to figure that. It was a hard question for something that seemed so simple was
Yeah,
actually one of the hardest questions for me. Sit with yourself. Ask yourself the questions. Yeah. Sit with yourself.
yeah.
Ask it.
Ask the question over and over, and that's where
Yeah.
journaling comes into place.
Yeah.
That's where
Absolutely.
journaling will really, really help you, because you will start just writing. What do I
Yeah.
really want? What do I really want?
Yeah.
What's the next step? What is it that I need? What is it that I desire? And just keep asking
Hmm.
that question. What is it
It
that
will
I
come.
want? What is it that I desire? What is it that I need? What is it that's going to make my life uh,
Complete,
fulfilling?
whole,
Yeah,
fulfilled. Yes, I love that. Yeah.
fulfilling. What is it? What is
Yeah.
it? And keep asking, because your mind will tell you, instead of saying, I, I, I don't know. Instead of writing, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want, because your mind is going to say, you don't know what you want? Okay, I'm going to show you why you don't know what you want.
Exactly.
Did that make sense? Why you don't know what you want? So your mind is going to be focusing on your talk, on your
Yeah.
self talk. If you keep saying, I don't know what I want, if you keep saying, I'm confused, if you keep saying, I don't understand, then your mind is going to give you reasons why you
That's
don't
right.
understand, why you don't know what you want, why you feel confused, why you're depressed.
Yeah.
So
Your
you've
mind is always listening,
yes,
whether you're aware or not. It is
yes,
always listening.
your mind is listening, and your mind doesn't really understand the nuance of your feeling. Your
Yeah.
mind is only understands that you have a very strong feeling about that certain idea. I don't
Yeah.
understand. And you have a really strong feeling about it. You're like, oh, I don't understand.
I've been there. Yes, it's so
Yeah,
true.
yeah. So your mind is telling you, yes, yes, you don't understand. And here's why.
And here's more.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
instead of saying, I don't understand, then you got to say, what do I need to understand? What do I need to understand? What do I need to do? What is the next step?
Yeah.
What do I want? What do I need to know? What do I
Right?
need to feel? And your mind will start telling you, you need to feel this. You need to feel this, and you need to understand this, and you need to understand, because your mind is going to be searching. Okay, why is she saying that? She's saying that for
Right?
a reason. So it could be big, and then you'll start thinking, what do I need to do? Okay, so then your mind is going to ask you, for what? What do you need to do for what? And then you're going to say, I can't pay my rent. Okay, so then your mind is going to say, well, here's some options. You can find a job here, or you can find a job there, or you can do this. So your mind is going to be very proactive with your self
Hmm.
talk. So
Yeah.
every time you ask yourself a question, or you express a frustration, your mind is going to give you the reasons why you're feeling that way. But if you're asking for proactive solutions, your mind is going to start working very proactively, and your mind will even create miracles for you.
Does.
And I
Absolutely.
have to share this with you. So 2 weeks ago, I was asking, I was saying how I was writing this. I was journaling. I was writing, um, how do I increase my savings? How do I increase my savings? How do I increase my savings? How do I pay donations? How do I pay for these donations? Or what do I need for this donation? And I don't know who, I don't know exactly what happened, but I was talking with a friend who I haven't met. I haven't met him in, we worked together in a program, in a volunteer program, about 10 years ago, or
Yeah.
even longer than that. And I called him, and I was talking with him about my jobs. And then he said, wow, that's really admirable. I really like what you're doing. And he lives, I don't know, 2 states away from me. And then he said, and then we just, we stopped talking. He's going back to Japan. And just 3 days ago, I received, and he didn't write anything. He just didn't say anything. I know it was him because he's the only person that I know there in that state. But it was just a card. It was just an envelope. It just had my name, my address, and then I opened it, and it just said a very nice message, and then there was $200 in there.
Oh, I love that. Right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so beautiful.
You
I
know,
love it.
and it just,
And
but it's because of the questions that you
yeah,
ask. It's the questions
it's
that you ask
yeah,
that will
it's so
manifest,
true. Yeah.
that will
Just like
manifest
this
in your
move.
life.
My move was
Yeah,
exactly that. It was fully on like we had nothing to start with this. So it was asking, how can I do this? What can I do? How can this happen? And just taking the action, the uncomfortable action steps. I just started packing. I just
yep.
started packing and
You
I
just
just gave
start,
notice.
yeah,
And
exactly,
bit by bit, yeah, it just unfolded
exactly,
and opportunities came up and the
exactly.
universe shifted.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that when you wanted to move, you didn't start saying, I can't move. I can't move because I don't have the money. I don't have a job. I don't have a house.
Right?
You may have said that, but
Yeah.
then you changed your mind, and you said, okay, you know what? I want to
I'm going
move.
on faith. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
my desire to make this move was more powerful than my willing to stay.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
that burning desire and
Exactly.
faith is what moved me.
Yep.
It
And
really
your
did.
question, your thoughts begin to change. Your thoughts
Absolutely.
begin to focus on what are
How?
the steps that I need to
Yeah.
take to change? What are the steps that I need to take to find to find this solution? What are the steps that I need to take to move? What are the steps that I need to take to buy a car? And that happened to me
Yeah.
when I needed a car.
Yeah.
I didn't have I didn't have credit. I just
Yeah.
moved back from Japan, 25 years in Japan. I have no credit whatsoever in the States, and nobody's giving me credit. I couldn't even get my phone, my cell phone. I had to go through loops and hoops to get my cell phone. But didn't have any credit, and then I didn't think about that. I just said, okay, you know what, I'm not going to care about this credit thing. I'm just going to start
Right.
writing what I want. And I started writing the name of my car, the color of my car. I started writing the make of my car, how much I was going to pay for my car, and how much the monthly payments were going to be, how much you know what, I even wrote how much I was going to pay for insurance.
I
And
love it.
in 1 week, and I just kept writing it, the same thing over and over and over. This is what I want. I want a red car. I want this make. I want this. I want to pay this much. I and these are the specifications. I was just like on the specs. I was like spec this, spec, all specs. And a week, it took about 2 weeks, and then I just kept for months. For 4 months, I just kept writing it in my journal, and it was just writing inside my journal. And 2 weeks before I was, because I had a deadline as well. I need to get this car by September. By the 1st of September, I have to have this car. And so I kept writing and writing and writing. And then 2 weeks, I just had this feeling that I needed to start looking for the car. I
That's your
started
intuition. Yeah.
Exactly. And I started calling the dealers, and the dealers would say, no, impossible, but we can offer you this. And I was like, no, this is what I want. And I started calling another one, and like, no, you're never going to get that. They would tell me, they would say, you're never going to get that. And I would
Yeah.
say, okay, thank you. And I would
Watch
call
me.
another dealer. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I would call another dealer. And then finally, oh my goodness, finally, one dealer, I called them, and they said, you know what? We have a car exactly all your specs, everything. We have it. It just came in 5 hours ago.
Right? Love that. I love
I
that.
was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, are you serious? And I was in a way, I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, okay,
Of
what about the
course.
price? What about this? What about that? And they said, yep, we can get this. But then this was the tricky part. Then they said, we've got everything that you need, and and we can do all the paperwork. We can give you this car. We just need to check your credit report.
Oh no. But you got to be like, universe didn't make this happen for nothing, so it's got to go.
Exactly. And then I gave them my credit report, and they said, you can't you we can't approve this sale because your credit report is not up to par with the specs. And I said, well, what can I do? I didn't say, oh no, blah blah blah, why
Right?
not? No, I just said, well, what can I do? And the guy said, the dealer, the manager said, you can have a co-signer. And I was like, yes, I got it.
Nice.
And so
Right?
I got a co-signer, and I got my car. So, it's
Yeah.
that process of what is it that you want, and you write it down, and you know your ideal client. You focus on exactly what you want. You focus on the positive. You focus on the end results desired, and your story. And
Right?
you share your story. You keep asking questions. You keep asking questions. And as you ask those questions, instead of saying, I don't know what to write, I have no idea what to write today, then you ask,
Reflect.
what do I need to write about today?
Right?
What
It
is it
comes.
that I need
They
to
will
write
come.
about today? It will come. I mean,
Hmm.
that has happened to me so many times. And I will say, what is it that I need to share with people today? What
Yeah.
from my story, from my experience, from my life experience, from what I'm going through, what is it that I need to share with you today?
Yeah.
And it just comes. It comes.
It
And you
does.
don't have to feel frustrated. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. It just comes. It comes to you. It's like it's a miracle. Miracles happen every single day when you ask and you
And
expect.
expect them.
Yes.
Expect them. You were just about to
Yes.
say that, I think. I heard that comment. Expect
Yeah.
them. Right?
Exactly.
Ask and expect. It's true.
Expect miracles. Expect
Hmm.
miracles. Imagine the feelings when you think about your authority model. Your authority model is exactly what we've been talking about. How do you feel about your product you're promoting? What words come to mind? Does your product align with those values? Does it meet your needs? So, your authority model is who you are, your story, your values, your experiences, your story. That's your authority model. You know, you got to know who you are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What what are your experiences? Regardless whether they were positive or negative, those experiences are,
What makes you who you are,
yeah, are your
right?
superpowers. It's what it is.
Hmm.
It's your superpower, it's your miracle, it's your gift, it's your gift to the world. So does it align with other people? It's not going to align with everybody, but it's going to align with the people that you need to align with. And
Yes.
they will come to you. You will attract and magnetize those people. So now, who is your ideal client? Are you getting it? Are you beginning to understand who your ideal client is? Because it is that one person, and another person, and another person, and another person. So again, what are their core skill values? What are their skills? What skills do they have? What experiences do they bring to the table? Who do you want? Like Angela said, who do you want to be friends with?
Yeah.
Because
You get to choose,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You get to choose.
yes, you get to choose. How will this program benefit them? How will they make this program better? What are they going to bring to the table? What are they going to contribute to you as well? So, very important questions to ask yourself. And imagine the feeling when you attract and magnetize your ideal clients. That's really really important.
Yeah.
Angela, do you are you have you done this? I know
Yes. I
Brianna
was gonna
just talked
say
about.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just feel like this is so important, is really, coming from that end result. Imagine the feeling it. Put yourself there. It's like role playing, for anybody out there who's done role playing. I used to hate it, it was very uncomfortable. Now I love it. I was like, okay, let's really put yourself in that situation. Come from that. What's the conversation you're having with them? You know, what are you talking about? What is the content? Like, what are you saying? What are they answering back? you know um really put yourself in that. Play it out, because your mind does not know the difference between what's real and what's not. And so the more you get comfortable and used to doing this, coming from that end result, you're stepping into that as if it's already done, and that's what will bring it to you.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So wonderful. Okay, thank you for attending this mastermind session. We've gone over. Oh my goodness, this is so
It
hard. We're just really
was fun.
we could go on and on and on, but this is basically um, the 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 key to attracting and magnetizing your ideal clients. And if you have any questions, if we've missed anything, if you have any concerns, please let us know. Write it
Hmm.
in the comments. We would love to hear, especially if you have questions. Is there anything that we can help you with? Is there anything else that we can grow together with? Is there anything that we need to expand on? Is there anything that you want us to focus more on? Let us know, because we're here for you and we want to serve you. We want you to thrive. We don't just want you to buy this product, be part of this program, and just be on the survival mode all the time. We want
Right.
you to be able to implement these strategies, these techniques, this mindset, and grow and thrive and feel alive, thrive and alive, because that's what we're here
Yeah.
for.
And
That's what life is
supported. And
for.
supported. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and supported and supported. That's really, really important for us. So thank you very much. And Angela, do you want to say anything else?
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to agree with that and just say, yeah, that's what we're here for, and if there's any ways that we can help support you in your growth, in your journey, in your business, and attracting your clients, for sure. That's the purpose. So, and I'm just grateful that I got on with this technology today.
Yay! You know what? I wasn't
We
worried
made
at
it.
all. I was like
Yeah,
thinking, that's okay. We're just going to
it's
keep
coming.
going because everything is going to, things are going to fall into place.
Absolutely. Just as they're meant to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Let us know where you are in the world because we want to connect with you. And
I love
have a
that.
wonderful week. Take care and see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.